Hey buddy, watch this.
Hello, Regis Kilbin is the name, and Hearthstone is the game, and welcome to my latest Decksperiment. This time around, I'm going to try to build a competitively viable deck based around a fun new card from Old Gods called the Am-Gam Rager. Now, if you're not familiar with the pun of this card, of course it is a play on words from the similarly statted but reversed Magma Rager. So Am-Gam is magma spelt backwards. Now Magma Rager is historically known as one of the worst cards ever in Hearthstone. And clearly Blizzard was tossing us a joke or two with the Am-Gam Rager because it seems equally terrible. Now admittedly 5 health is much better than 1 health. So this card is decidedly better, but with only 1 attack, it's very hard to find decks in situations which seem to fit. That said, I take that as a challenge. So in this Decksperiment, I want to build a deck that can somehow make Am-Gam Rager a good card, and it can fit sensibly into a great deck. So in other words, not just cards 29 and 30 that don't add to the deck, but it's actually influential in the deck. So I started thinking about kinds of things that would synergize with Am-Gam Rager. Now, naturally, it seems like a perfect body for buffs, because it does have a lot of health, so it's likely to survive its turn, setting up for big buffs in following turns. So classes like Priest and Paladin come to mind, because they do have a fair number of minion buffs. But then I realized it has 1 attack. And there's one card from the Goblins versus Gnomes set that buffs minions with 1 attack. So both aspects of Am-Gam Rager, the fact that it has 1 attack and high health, seem to support the card called, if we can find it, the Hobgoblin. Whenever you play a 1 attack minion, give it +2/+2, which means we could in fact get a 3/7 Am-Gam Rager with Hobgoblin. So I think I'd like to build a Am-Gam Rager Hobgoblin deck. And when thinking about aggressive decks that support Hobgoblin and are able to consistently pump out cheap, efficient minions, one comes to mind above all else, and that is Warlock. So let's see if we can't, in this Decksperiment, build a Am-Gam Hobgoblin. I believe it's spelled like this. Hobgoblin Zoo. We'll call it that. No, we don't want to automatically finish it, but this is actually going to be a wild deck because, of course, the Hobgoblin only fits in wild decks since it is a part of GVG. So let's go ahead and add the 2 cards that we know for sure are going to be in the deck, the Am-Gam Rager and the Hobgoblin. Those are quite naturally the centerpiece of our deck. But, as you might expect, we need a lot more minions with 1 health, and thankfully, Old Gods actually added a few. Primarily Possessed Villager is fantastic with Hobgoblin. We've also got the new card, believe it or not, the Darkshire Councilman, which since it starts with 1 attack, it actually will get buffed by Hobgoblin as well. It has the same stat allocation as the Am-Gam Rager, so it's like a super Am-Gam Rager, but that doesn't make Am-Gam Rager a bad card. It's still a great 3-drop. We also passed up here a few good ones like Voidwalker. Mistress of Pain, I think, is also pretty fantastic because of its high health total. We can certainly consider Reliquary Seeker. We'll add that in for now. And I can envision a world where that gets cut, but we'll just have to play it and see. I think that'll do it for the cheap 1 attack Warlock cards. Now, admittedly, Dreadsteed is a 1 attack Warlock card, but unfortunately its Death Rattle doesn't benefit from Hobgoblin. You'll notice Hobgoblin says whenever you play a 1 attack minion, not when you summon. So each subsequent Death Rattle from Dreadsteed would not get buffed from Hobgoblin. So it's quite expensive to only get 1 buff out of it. We're looking for much cheaper cards than what that can offer. So let's go ahead and move over to the neutral set since we do already have quite a few Warlock cards and we exhausted that list. Argent Squire is absolutely perfect because Divine Shields are also awesome with the buffs. I'm just looking to see what other cards. Actually, Leper Gnome is going to fit pretty well as well. It used to not work in Hobgoblin decks, but since it got nerfed, it actually got buffed in a sense in Hobgoblin decks because it now fits. Also, this will be an aggressively minded deck that tries to fill up the board very quickly. So extra damage from Death Rattle from Leper Gnome certainly won't hurt that mindset. I don't think we want to risk a Sir Finley Murgleton, simply because the hero power is very important in this deck. We need to be able to draw cards, and Sir Finley could disrupt that plan. I think the Zealous Initiate actually fits pretty well too, just because it also provides buffs and it's a very cheap 1-mana play. I'm actually considering Undertaker. How many Death Rattle minions do we have? Possessed Villagers 1, Zealous Initiates 2, Leper Gnomes 3. It might actually be halfway decent. Let's add it to the list and perhaps cut it later on. Let's keep moving through. Annoyatron is amazing just because the Divine Shield, again, is great when you're able to buff it. Blood Mage Thalnos might be worth consideration. It is a Death Rattle, and it does give us some additional card draw, which is really nice. Sorry, I blinked out there for a second. Spell damage probably won't matter, but who knows? Maybe it's good. Explosive Sheep is not good simply because we don't want to damage our own board. We'll have a lot of cheap stuff. Echoing Ooze is absolutely fantastic because you get to duplicate the buff. Haunted Creeper feels pretty good. It's also a Death Rattle, so there's more Undertaker synergy. Lance Carrier is probably not bad, but I don't think it's as good as what we've got right now. Master Swordsmith might be okay as well, but it could be just a tad slow. Like, the buff is not necessarily worth it for us. Unstable Ghouls can be punishing. Twilight Geomancer is pretty intriguing just because it does have Taunt, which can be important to protect other valuable stuff like the Hobgoblin itself. And it has 4 health, which is also quite strong. So we're out of cards, but I don't know that this list will be final. I want to keep going through and just making sure if we can fill out with some, maybe a couple 3-drops additionally. Actually, we have 6 already. This might just fit. This might be all that we need. I'm going a little fast here. Let's slow down. Nomergon Infantry is okay. Flying Machine might be okay too, but just too slow. Dalaran Mage, we don't benefit from the spell power. Demolisher, probably just too slow again. We have enough 3-drops between Darkshire and Amgam. You can't afford for the deck to be too expensive because you want to maximize your Hobgoblin turns all at once, right? You want to make sure that you can play 2 or 3, maybe even 4 minions the same turn as your Hobgoblin. So these are good turn 3 plays on their own sometimes, but not necessarily comboed with the Hobgoblin as easily because you start to spend a lot of mana just for 1 card. Silverback's probably okay, but we've got some other stuff that works very similarly, and I think that's it. We don't want any 4-mana cards, so I think that'll do. Is there anything we sacrifice? Do we want 2 Twilight Geomancers? Is that better than a Mistress of Pain? We don't really care about healing ourselves. We don't really care about Demon Synergy. Maybe we give up the Thalnos. Maybe 2 mana for just a single 1/1 is not that worth it because it'll just be a 3/3, right? 2 mana 3/3 is not that exciting. The spell damage won't matter. We'll drop him and we'll actually pick up another. There's even some merit to the Bloodsail Corsair because weapons could certainly disrupt our plans. That takes out the second half of a Fiery War Axe. That could help a lot. I wonder if that's worth it. I don't know. Maybe we're better off just focusing on the taunts with the Twilight Geomancer. We'll try that. I think that's a more sound decision. The more likely we are to protect the Hobgoblin, the better off we are. All right, so everything we have is 1, 2, and 3 mana cost. The Reliquary Seeker, I'm still not sure it's going to be great, but just because I don't know how often we're going to have 6 guys out. It might occur, though. I mean, between the Echoing Ooze and the really cheap 1-drops, there could be some turn 4s and 5s where we just play 4 things, and this ends up being a 5/5. So that's probably worth it even without the Hobgoblin. All this stuff has solid value anyway. Even if it doesn't get hit by the Hobgoblin, for instance, the Undertaker can get buffed up pretty significantly. All just good minions. So I think this will do it. I think this is going to be my Decksperiment Amgam Hobgoblin Zoo list. It's pretty crazy. So let's go ahead and take it out onto the ranked ladder. We are going to switch to Wild and see what this deck can do. Now, I think historically the issue with Hobgoblin decks has been consistency. If you don't draw the Hobgoblin when you want to and when you need to, then it can be hard to build a valuable board. It's also somewhat susceptible to removal, so you usually get like 1 or 2 good turns. So if your opponent has some good AoE removal, it's very hard to recover the board. So you need to get out to a blistering start and leverage it very well and make efficient trades and get some power plays out of your Hobgoblin. So we actually got the Hobgoblin. We'll go ahead and keep that just because we know we're going to get more 1-drops and stuff. We'll keep the Haunted Creeper and the Voidwalkers too, because this is a pretty cool turn 4 or even coin turn 3 to protect the Hobgoblin. And we can play these on curve just to get bodies out. So this could be our 1, our 2, and our 3 with the coin. If he doesn't have an answer, and priests can have trouble killing something like this that early in the game. They don't typically have, unless they have some minions out to trade effectively, but even then our Voidwalker will be very large. So we'll go ahead and play the Argent Squire because the taunt will be more useful to protect the Hobgoblin, I think. And this attacks for the same value, so there's really no advantage to getting this out early. Oh, intriguing. We'll go ahead and play this. I'm going to make this trade too. He can heal it, I understand, but if he does, that gives us a great setup. We can still kill it next turn, and we may not be able to kill it now. We could wait on our Hobgoblin here. The problem is if we wait too long, he's got stuff like Holy Nova, Alkanai Soul Priest clears. There are some shenanigans that can be pulled. I'm actually going to do it though and tap and play the Argent Squire. We don't need to trade here obviously because that'll just doom our board. So we can play a double taunt now in front of our Hobgoblin next turn. But that makes it so risky. Alkanai Soul Priest just destroys our board if I do that. I have the circle of healing anyway. And I have no way to kill that. I don't think we can afford to wait any longer though. Because the same thing will be there next turn, right? I could play a couple extra minions, but... And we'll just go face. I mean, I guess Alkanai Soul Priest Circle does leave 2 minions up at least, or 3 minions actually. But he can ping off some stuff too, so it actually could kill a lot. If he doesn't have it, we might be in a decent spot. He's got some awkward trades, and we have some big stuff to play. Yeah, that's a pretty easy kill with the Alkanai out, I guess. I think we just got out too slow, and I think we're going to lose this game. I don't really see a path to victory right now. We'll just play dudes. I can't kill this yet, so we'll just make efficient trades and go face. The problem right now is that all of our stuff has 1 attack, so without the Hobgoblin, it's very hard for us to kill. Perhaps we should have added some other meaty cards in that don't necessarily fit the Hobgoblin mentality, but just give us a little more depth in the mid-range. We still have like the Darkshark Councilman that can give us some attack. We have stuff that can happen. But right now we just cannot trade efficiently at all without the Hobgoblin. I'll life tap first. It's actually a pretty good draw. think I have to kill this to protect the Undertaker, but then it just dies to trades as well. I don't know. I don't think this is working. I just can't trade in that many. If he kills the Undertaker, it's worth 4 minions, right?
Let me change your mind.
Interesting. I can't imagine you didn't have a better play to ping that off and then steal something next turn. It's not like the steals were going to go anywhere. Darkshire's actually not too bad. He doesn't have any 5 attack stuff out. I have a few different ways to spawn minions as well. So, does this give me too many minions? It does. I have to kill another thing if I want to spawn both of these. Go ahead and sack that off. Alright, so we got a decently sized guy out. Something like a Reliquary Seeker wouldn't be too bad either. Holy Nova here obviously just ruins us because he can trade this and Holy Nova and call it a day. It's kind of rough. I guess I could have played around that, but I don't think that's reasonable. He probably wonders why the heck we're running amp cameras, and I kind of wonder the same, right? He's making interesting. I mean, he's making the right trades, I guess, but I just don't think we have any way to do 18 damage before we die. His board is just too efficient at clearing ours. That doesn't help. We'll just play it out. We just don't have any finishers. We might have messed up there. I think we might have went too greedy for the Hobgoblin, or at least maybe we have to adjust the way. That's probably the best one. The way that we have to think. It's the worst one now. Jeez. Yeah, the game is over. Maybe we have to save our Hobgoblin for longer and make sure we just build a nasty board. The problem with Priest, though, is that he had the Akanai out. It just seemed like we were just waiting. Tempting fate. If we waited forever and we played 6 minions of the Hobgoblin, then guess what? We're just doomed anyway, so what difference does it make? Yeah, she's a little late. I think he just says lethal on board. Yeah. 16 exactly. The game is clearly over. Just don't like to concede. Come on, dude. We got lethal. 12, 14, 16. Really? Oh, good. Looked like he was targeting the councilman. I agree. Not sure this deck's gonna. Not sure this deck's gonna do it. Particularly not against Control Priest. Even though we didn't get AoE'd. But we won't give up. We will try again with the Amgam Hobgoblin Zoo. The Amgam Zoo. Wait time, 2 minutes. Come on, wild format. Get it together. Not quite 2 minutes, though. Alright, we definitely don't want the Reliquary Seeker on 1, even though she's a 1-drop. We're going to toss all these back, actually. Maybe we'll keep the Twilight, just because it's pretty good against dudes. And we're very likely to get a 1-drop, right? We have so many 1-drops. This one's bad, but this one's pretty good. Oh, man, really? Like, we just tossed you back. We got your buddy. And you came back. Come on. We might be able to make this a 2-5, which is pretty cool. That's likely not a Noble Sack, but we'll see. It's probably Avenge, setting up the Avenge. We may play a Reliquary Seeker as a body, but I may life tap too. I don't know. It just depends if I get a good 1-drop or not. That could be the Noble Sack. Nope. I'll just play this. There's no need to life tap just yet. I don't want to play the Mistress yet, of course, because I don't need heals. And it's a bigger body to get buffed by the Hobgoblin when it comes. Maybe I need to run stuff like Direwolf Alphas still and Abusive Sergeants. Maybe it sacrifices some Hobgoblin synergy but gives you the damage you need to actually win games. Because as it seems right now, like, we're just punching for such small amounts every turn that one board clear is going to totally ruin us every time. I think we've already given away what we're about to. We've played 3 1-attack minions. Anybody that knows Hobgoblin is pretty quickly going to understand exactly what's happening. But these taunts really help. If I get a Hobgoblin out, I can double Reliquary Seeker, for instance. Or I guess just 1 next turn, but it's pretty intriguing. I think I'll go ahead and sack this in, maybe. I take that back. Because having an extra minion on the board might actually activate my Reliquary Seekers at some point. And on that note, I'm also just going to play dudes. This is a little off mana. I could life tap, but this might be a redemption. Yeah, it is. Wow. We'll go ahead and pop the Divine Shield. It sucks against Consecration, but it's not the worst. If he Consecrates, we still have 2 minions up, and they're buffed from the Initiates, so it's not the worst thing ever. But we can actually activate at least one of these next turn. Probably both. I don't think there's any draw in the game that denies us both. A Councilman would be a pretty sick draw this turn. Or a Hobgoblin too, perhaps. That's still an Avenge, I guess. That is not a play you feel good about, I think, is the Paladin. Removing one damage from the board, but it will perhaps deny my Reliquary Seekers, so it's actually a little annoying. Ooh. Yeah, I'll go ahead and play both, just because one will get buffed and the other one is still going to help this guy. I think I have to ignore this. I can actually... Never mind. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to kill it. Because I don't want to activate the Avenge next turn. And I want to make room on my board, so I am going to kill a couple of these guys and buff some of these dudes. Oh, that's a great one to get buffed, too. Sick. I have to be able to play minions every turn, right? So I don't want the board to be full. This is kind of scary right now. The 5/5 and the 4/6. Oh, he's so slow. I have 9, 10, 12 damage next turn. The Amgam's okay. The Undertaker's okay. I'm a little worried about like a quality Consecrate. I think I'm just going to hold on to these right now. Although I can give myself 2 extra attack. Is it worth it? No, we have 2-turn lethal either way. I don't think it's worth it. If he have quality Consecrates, we can reload a little bit. I don't know if he has that. It's a secret Paladin, probably. They shouldn't be running a quality Consecrate, but he's got 8 cards. He hasn't played any minions. So I don't know what's going on up there. A weapon's not going to do any work because everything's out of weapon attack range, and we have a taunt. Consecration's not even good. He's dead. Oh, he's Murloc. He's just a standard Murloc Paladin. Yeah, I think that's just game. We have more than enough damage here. Yeah, we show lethal on board, but we also have these guys to buff our Councilman. So definitely lethal here. Yep, played. Alright, so that actually worked out, but really just as a zoo deck, right? We didn't even get the Hobgoblin that time. We just flooded the board and he was too slow to deal with it. Apparently had a pretty awkward draw as well, so that didn't help. So, I don't know, deck has some merits, but right then it was just a bad zoo. Consistent zoo, admittedly. I can't believe we played off curve on that turn 4. We only played 3 mana, but still, we won, so that's worth something. Same guy? Not the same guy, okay. This is pretty interesting. We'll toss back one of these taunts, but we'll keep the other 2. They're both just so good against dudes. Also good against stuff like Divine Shields, so. And they might protect the Councilman on 3 to play like 4 minions on turn 4 with Echoing Ooze and a couple 1-drops, for instance, so could get a really strong Darkshire on turn 4. Perhaps even earlier with the coin, depending on what he does. If he starts slow, I wouldn't be opposed to coining out the Councilman after playing the Voidwalker on 1, and then doing stuff like Twilight Geomancer and another 1-drop on 3 to further cement the protection of the Councilman and start buffing it a turn earlier. I can't believe he has a play here. He's gonna pass. I mean, he could have a secret. Oh, he's pretty aggressive. Cool. Alright, we actually trade pretty well into that, so that's fine. He may buff here. If he does, we might play this. So we don't want this to die for free. But we have a pretty good turn 3 with the Ooze Leper. So if we coin this out, it's really strong. Or even the Geomancer Leper just to protect it, depending on his board. Hope he hero powers here. That would be great news for us. Nice. Really, really strong. I don't think he's going to trade. Yeah, we'll kill the minion just for secret stuff. We'll coin this out, like I said. You might like Seal of Champions this, and I guess in theoretically that case I probably should have popped this shield, but I was also worried about stuff like Avenge. If you can keep minions off the board, you're better off against Paladin. Multiple minions, because that way the Avenge is not guaranteed to proc. I don't know if this is a secret Paladin style deck or an Avenge. It's wild format, right? So it could be anything. Avenge is still out there. So, probably play the Echoing Ooze Leper Gnome this turn. He can kill my dude, but the Echoing Ooze sure trades well into that stuff. I don't know though, this just totally shuts down his board. I also have this and this. I'm going to play the Undertaker and the Twilight. It might be worthwhile to go here and kill one of these guys. Then his whole board has to trade in here. Otherwise he'd have 1 left over, which means if he buffed it or something, he could kill my Councilman. And that could happen too, and he just kills my whole board. What a jerk. Muster for battles. Very good. I don't know if that was a mistake. I'm not sure what he meant. I didn't see it. We'll just play people. I considered life tapping, but I think he's running a really low curve deck with the Argent Squire. So having stuff out to trade into 1/1s is maybe good. And I still have gas. If I do draw the Hobgoblin, I've still got the Echoing Ooze. So it's not like I'm totally out of cards if we get what we want. I can't believe that Consecration was really good. I don't know what he means. That was a mistake. Maybe he's thinking he should have baited my board out a little more. I'll life tap here for sure. I'm going to save those, one of them. Because it's, well, 6 mana next turn, so the Hobgoblin would allow me to do both and the Hobgoblin. So I don't want to expend all my resources. I don't really care about the heal from that thing. It's obviously a free kill for him, but... So I think this is a secret Paladin. I don't know. The Lothab is not low curve. I feel like he should have done that first. Just oh, it is secret. Oh, this is gonna be tough real fast. I think we just start dying soon. We just don't have the... Ugh. We just don't have the pieces we need. That consecration blew us out. Unfortunately, the 1/2, and I probably should have killed the redeemed one, the redeemed 2/1, so you can't kill the taunt with his weapon. And it would have blocked the competitive spirit too. Yeah, I probably went a little too fast. I probably should have killed that. It would have made one of those run into my taunt, but now he gets the free. It was not worth 2 damage to the face. It would have saved me 6 health, basically. Never mind, he's trading. He's gonna consecration and the game's over. Oh, whoa! He's playing way too safe. He should start hitting face. We don't have anything to do. Like, he's blowing us out. He should have hit 16 to face. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. The game is still over, but... like, what can we do? We're not getting much Hobgoblin luck, are we? We've only seen it once. I had it too, right? Oh, this is literally just Secret Paladin. I don't think he changed anything. He's just playing old school Secret Paladin in wild format. It's not a bad dex. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but didn't he have lethal? Surely he had some lethal, right? No, I guess not yet. Another 5. Yeah, I don't know. We need our Hobgoblins. It's hard to say if this deck's any good. Probably not, right? Because we're not getting the Hobgoblins. I think that in and of itself is all the indication that we might need. It's going to be a very big dude. Oh, he went there. Cool. Inconsistency is definitely a problem. But that consecration just ruined us. We were in a pretty good spot, I think, until that landed. I feel like we had a pretty good board with the Councilman. He would have had trouble dealing with that. We still, I don't know if we could have cleared the Lothab, though. We would have needed some timely taunts to protect our value stuff from the Lothab. We had some, but not sure it would have worked out anyway. Alright, Mage. Let's see how this goes. Probably a tempo mage, if I had to guess, might be freeze mage, which would be an interesting experiment for us. If it is freeze mage, the Mistress of Pain might actually be valuable later. I'm going to toss her back. Who knows when a heal of 2 or 3 might really matter. Still waiting to see that Hobgoblin. We'll play on curve for now. Probably the Noratron next turn. Don't think... yeah, not freeze mage. Okay. Well, that's like an amazing start. I think we're already losing. Man. He can ping this and trade. It's pretty good. These guys trade a little better, but maybe these are just the best. What a start. If he has arcane missiles, we just lose already. And we lose hard, frankly. It's still pretty good. He won't get a lot of mirror entity value, but still no hobby. What's the guy got to do to get a Hobgoblin? This game's already heading south so fast. He just had too good of a start. I can't compete with that. It's probably Mirror Entity, which thankfully is not very good against us. Yeah, he'll get one, but he won't get the other. Make the obvious trade there. Oh, he does get both. I didn't realize that's how that worked. Oh, it is, because the... no, I actually don't understand that interaction at all. Why would he absorb the Battle Cry effect? That minion did not elicit its Battle Cry. Why would he get two? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Absolutely zero sense. We gotta find a Hobgoblin. I probably played that in the wrong order. Oh, no, we lucked out. It's counterspell. We don't even have a spell, so good luck with that one. Alright, he's got way more cards than us, but he's kind of behind on board a little bit. Frostbolt Illuminator. Oh my goodness. Wow. That's gonna be tough. Yeah, see, these are the kinds of hands that just don't go anywhere. What? And I think I'm actually just gonna pass my turn. What can I do with that? I can't just send those out there. Oh my gosh. I think the Amgam Hobgoblin Zoo is fundamentally broken. What can I don't even have Undertaker synergy. My gosh. I'm just gonna go out with a bang and try to find my Hobgoblin. That's gonna go to a 7/7. We're definitely dead next turn no matter what. Surprised we weren't dead this turn to Fireball. Need my Hobgoblin. Oh. That'll do it. That'll do it, folks. No Hobgoblin. We've only had one Hobgoblin turn this entire run so far. I think I have to keep playing in search of the Hobgoblin. I think our last, what, 30 card draws probably have not had a Hobgoblin. It's the last 3 games. We're already 15 cards deep in this one. We at least went 10 cards deep in those other games, right? So probably our last 30 draws have not seen a Hobgoblin. Shatter on the one Argent Squire. That's not too good. I'm going to play one more game in an attempt to land an actual Hobgoblin turn. The Decksperiment has already failed in my mind. We've gone 1 and 3, I think. But not just gone 1 and 3. We have utterly failed. We've been destroyed in the games we lost, which is inexcusable. We should be losing close games, right? With a very occasional game where you just get ran over because of bad draws. We shouldn't be getting ran over every single game. Admittedly, he had a great start. We had a bad one, but still. I think I'll keep the Undertaker into Leper Gnome and see what happens. If we get a couple Death Rattles, who knows? These Reliquary Seekers are dead cards. I think we got to take these out. Odds on a Hobgoblin in the top 10 cards? I think it's 0. Apparently I took them out of the deck accidentally. This is pretty funny. This is the old school Undertaker play. Just gonna coin out Arcane Missiles. Mirror Image. These mages, dude. I'll play this one since it's on curve. The Leper Gnome with float of mana, and I don't benefit from the other 1-drop. He's probably got a free trade here, but what can I do?
Someday I'll be just like
This is really awkward. I think I'll play the 3-drop just because it's less flexible. And it does actually contest stuff a little bit. Look what you've done to us, Game Rager. You've made me waste 40 minutes of my life on the utterly broken, and not in a good way, utterly broken, totally defeated Hobgoblin, Amgam, Zoo, who knows what it is. I'm actually the Rager. You are no longer the Rager. It has become me. He just fireballed our Amgam Rager. Well, maybe it's good after all. It ate a fireball. I'm just going to start life tapping at this point for Hobgoblin specifically to see if they actually exist or they're just a myth. I don't think this game is winnable, although he did just use a fireball pretty poorly. We might be able to recover with a Hobgoblin actually because we have 4 pretty sick dudes. Should trade here probably, but oh, Arcane Blast is good. Doing a lot of damage. We have a good trade at least. Oh, I'm glad that wasn't another mirror image. Yeah, he caused himself a damage there. It's unfortunate. It's the mythical Hobgoblin. I think I can play it this turn. He almost certainly has a Frostbolt to kill it. Goblins and gnomes. We'll do the leper gnomes, technically correct, because these could actually get value. Frostbolt certainly takes care of it. He just used an Arcane Blast though and a Fireball, so there's a chance he doesn't have anything. That'd be sick, because these would be like giant minions. It's a good sign. That's a good sign. It's actually going to live. Holy crap. Holy crap. Now, I actually don't know how this interaction works. Do these become 5/5s or 7/7s? It's actually better that they get the +4/+4 than the... I guess we're going to learn how this works, aren't we?
I have big plans.
Oh, it becomes a 7/7. Nice. So we definitely want to play the other one. We'll life tap, even though it does put us at risk of dying relatively soon. I'll trade here because it gives me extra damage, even though it's the better minion, just to get the Argent Squire out. I couldn't trade the 1/1 because it wouldn't have killed it. I could have traded this one, but I like it having health as a big taunt. Alright, so that was a pretty cool turn. Hobgoblin Amgam Zoo. It's going at it. Maybe we'll call this the Rager Zoo. That's a pretty good name, too. Doesn't exactly explain what it's about. Oh, nice. I think we just win, right? Right? We have tons of damage. 14, 17, 22. Yeah, we have total lethal. Sick. I'm actually going to kill one of these. Oh, man. I wanted the Hobgoblin to get the killing blow. No. Alright, alright, alright. That one kind of worked. Honestly. Right? When we got the Hobgoblin, the game was over. So, I think the deck is bad. I think it's a failed Decksperiment 90% of the way. But when you see turns like that, you kind of start to wonder, is there a little bit of gas in the tank here? Maybe the Amgam Rager's not the right fit. Maybe you remove him. Maybe you take out a couple other cards here and there. I felt like the Reliquary Seekers weren't that great, even though they did win the game there at the end. Swap out the Undertakers. Add in some just value zoo type stuff. Maybe some Abusive Sergeants, Direwolves. And make it more consistent in that way. Like a couple just good minions. And I don't know. You might have yourself a little zoo variant deck. I'm not sure it's better than just straight up zoo, but it's certainly more fun and has some crazy turns like that. And it allows you to put Amgam Rager in a deck. So that in and of itself is worth something. So the Amgam Rager Hobgoblin Zoo, I hope you enjoyed this utterly failed Decksperiment. If you have any questions about the deck or my thoughts in designing it, feel free to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, game on.